Have you ever, like, I don't know, wish that you could just flip a switch in your brain and suddenly you're just thinking in English?
Yeah.
Not translating, but like actually thinking in English.
It's like the holy grail of language learning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like that aha moment. So today, that's what this whole deep dive is about, how to unlock that next level.
And we're diving into how to think in English to help us do just that.
Because the title says it all, right?
It does.
So one of the things I found really interesting about this particular source is it really emphasizes that this is a gradual process.
Absolutely.
It's not like you wake up one day and suddenly...
snaps fingers. You think in English.
It's really about retraining your brain step by step.
Okay, so that sounds way less intimidating, I've got to say.
Yes.
So where do we even begin with this whole retraining process?
Well, this guide starts with a surprisingly simple idea.
Okay.
And that is describing your morning routine in English.
Okay, so like brushing my teeth, making coffee.
Exactly. Simple stuff. That seems almost too easy.
It does, but there's a really powerful reason behind it. Think of it like building a mental muscle.
Okay.
Every time you use English for those everyday tasks, you're strengthening that English thinking pathway in your brain.
So even if it's as simple as thinking, instead of in my native language, like, it's a beautiful morning, I should try to think that in English.
Exactly. It's about forming those new habits.
Okay.
And the more we use our brains in a specific way, the easier it becomes.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like learning a new dance move or something.
I like that.
At first, it's all awkward and you're thinking about every single step, and then eventually it just becomes second nature.
Exactly.
So it's the same.
It's practice. It's all about practice.
Yeah.
And just like with dancing, the key is to start small and build from there.
So small. Okay, I like it.
Yeah. So it's not just about describing your breakfast, right? This guide, it wants you to take it a step further, narrate your entire day in English.
You mean like as if I'm narrating a documentary, but it's just me in my head?
Yeah, kind of. More like an inner monologue, you know?
Okay.
It's about engaging your decision-making process.
I see.
But in English this time.
Like instead of thinking, should I wear the blue shirt or the green one? I do that in English.
Exactly. Choosing what to eat.
Okay.
Planning your route to work.
Uh-huh.
Even that little debate we have with ourselves about hitting the snooze button.
Oh, yeah.
Do it all in English.
Okay, so I'm really using the language, not just thinking about vocabulary.
Yeah, it makes you think about everyday things.
Exactly.
In a different way.
But this brings us to a part of the guide that I'm not so sure about.
Yeah.
It seems a little, I don't know, out there.
What's that?
The whole self-talk thing.
Yeah.
Is it really that straightforward? I just talk to myself in English.
Look at it this way. You've got this built-in English coach.
Okay.
Living in your head, rent-free.
Right.
You can practice all you want, mess up 1,000,000 times.
And nobody cares.
No one's there to judge you.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it.
Okay, I can see that.
It really helps you build confidence.
Yeah.
Because you're not so worried about making those mistakes.
Yeah, it's that fear of judgment, right?
Exactly.
That can hold you back.
Especially in a language you're still learning, yeah.
Okay, but this all leads to actual conversations, right?
Of course.
Like, that's where I really want to be fluent.
The guide actually talks about that.
Does it?
It says, even in the middle of a conversation,
Oh, wow.
you've got to ditch that translation step.
That sounds hard, honestly.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, I feel like I can barely keep up with conversations in English, even when I'm translating in my head.
Right, but that's the thing.
So to just like, not to just drop that and just go straight into English?
It's a process, right?
Yeah.
Like we were saying before, you don't become a fluent thinker overnight.
Right.
You have to start small, baby steps.
Okay, so like, if I can manage a yes, please, or like, that's interesting, or something like that.
That's a great start. It's those small victories that keep you going.
Okay, so even if it's not perfect,
it doesn't have to be perfect.
I shouldn't beat myself up about it, basically.
This guide, it actually encourages you to like embrace those imperfections.
Does it really?
Yeah, because those little slip-ups, they're just proof that you're pushing yourself.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it.
It's all part of the learning process.
Yeah, I think sometimes we forget that we're not supposed to be perfect right away.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially with language learning. It's such a long...
It's a journey.
It's a journey. It takes so much time.
And speaking of which, this guide also emphasizes surrounding yourself with the language.
Oh, right, like immersion.
Exactly.
But this is more passive, right?
It is. Books, movies, even podcasts like this one.
So I'm just absorbing it.
Exactly. You're immersing yourself in the culture of the language.
It's like the more I hear it, the more natural it'll sound, even if I don't understand everything.
Exactly. You start to internalize the rhythm and the flow.
Okay, so we've talked about starting small. We've talked about the self-talk thing. We've talked about surrounding ourselves with English, but like,
Yeah.
what's the end goal with all this?
Yeah.
To get to a point where we don't even need the guide anymore.
Exactly. The goal is for thinking in English to become as natural as thinking in your native language.
So it's really about retraining your brain.
Absolutely. It takes time and effort, but it's possible.
Yeah.
It's like that saying, right? Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, or at least, as close to perfect as we can get.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, I think we've covered a lot today
We have
about thinking in English.
a lot of great tips from this guide.
So to everyone listening, give it a try. And remember, start small.
Yeah, don't be afraid to make mistakes.
And most importantly, be patient with yourself.
Absolutely.
You've got this.
You do.
That's it for this deep dive. Until next time, happy learning, everyone.